On the east coast of the Atlantic Ocean, where the waves lapped softly against the shore and the sun painted an ever-changing palette on the surface of the water, lived two seasoned divers, Alex and Jake. Friends since childhood, the ocean had been their playground, and later their profession. This bond had only deepened over time, shaping them into partners who understood each other's thoughts with a mere glance. One clear morning, their routine dive was set to unravel a new mystery that would change their lives forever. As they descended into the cobalt-blue depths, the world above seemed to vanish. Their heartbeats echoed in their ears, their bubbles trailed upwards like pearls, and the underwater world enveloped them in its embrace. A discovery soon caught their attention, an ancient shipwreck lying in a bed of coral and sand. Its skeletal structure testament to a bygone era. Its timber groaned with age, laden with untold stories of seafaring adventures, treasures, and battles. Amidst the fragmented hull and coral-encrusted cannons, they noticed an ornate chest, beautifully adorned with precious stones that glowed mysteriously. Unable to resist the allure of this ancient artifact, they carefully hauled it to their boat. Yet, no matter how hard they tried, the chest remained stubbornly shut, as if protected by an unseen force. The return journey was fraught with anticipation, the boat bobbing gently as they stared at the chest. Its luminescent glow pulsed rhythmically under the sunlight, adding to the enigma. Suddenly, it started shaking as if alive, emitting an uncanny, almost melodic sound that resonated with the quiet lapping of the ocean waves. Before they could make sense of the unfolding scenario, the tranquil ocean around them roared to life, forming a swirling vortex that started to consume everything in its path. They could only watch in stunned silence as the vortex engulfed their boat and sucked them into its swirling abyss, the chest secure between them. The world spun around them as they were pulled down, the sunlight vanishing swiftly, replaced by darkness and the chaotic cacophony of the whirling waters. Then, as suddenly as it had begun, the chaos ceased. An eerie silence followed, and they found themselves in an entirely different realm. Opening their eyes, they found themselves in a grand underwater city, teeming with life. A spectrum of colors bloomed around them, radiating from the luminescent coral structures that formed towering buildings. The underwater city was filled with aquatic creatures of various sizes and shapes, living in harmony in a scene that was straight out of a dream. Bioluminescent plants provided a soft, radiant light, bathing everything in an ethereal glow, while exotic fish swam in synchronized harmony, adding to the realm's vibrancy. The city's inhabitants, the Aquarians, greeted them, a race of humanoid sea-dwelling beings, ancient and wise. Alex and Jake found, to their surprise, that they could breathe and communicate with ease in this realm, a magic that they assumed was of the Aquarians' doing. The beings, while gentle and hospitable, were assertive when it came to the chest, claiming it to be a long-lost relic of their culture, explaining its strange and magical behavior. The Aquarians recounted an epic saga that began countless generations ago. The heart of the sea, they explained, was a sacred artifact, a beautiful gem with extraordinary powers that were as much a part of the Aquarians' cultural identity as their glistening city and their shared history. The heart had been lost during a cataclysmic battle with a monstrous sea creature, the likes of which hadn't been seen before or since. Their ancestors had fought bravely, but the battle had resulted in the loss of the heart, which was swept away by the turbulent waters. The chest that Alex and Jake had found was the final resting place of the heart. The gem was not just a symbol of power for the Aquarians. It was a reservoir of the mystical forces that controlled the ocean tides and the vibrant life that thrived within. Its loss had plunged the Aquarian civilization into a slow decline, and the return of the heart was a matter of cultural and civilizational survival. The loss of the heart had also disrupted the balance of the underwater ecosystem, its absence leaving a void that had been hard to fill. Their tale was punctuated by a profound sense of loss and hope, and the need for the heart was palpable. The tale had a profound effect on Alex, who had always been more empathetic of the two friends. Seeing the grandeur of the underwater city and hearing about the Aquarians' history, he felt a connection with their plight. Their tale of loss resonated with him, and he felt an urge to correct the wrong and return the heart. He tried to convince Jake of the same, urging him to understand the depth of the Aquarians' loss. Jake, however, was ensnared by a different set of thoughts. His mind was haunted by visions of wealth and the life it promised. The possibility of a humdrum existence replaced by fame and fortune was tantalizing. The chest, and the unimaginable wealth it represented, had created a divide between them. Their shared glances, once filled with understanding, were now laden with conflict. Their camaraderie was strained as they grappled with the implications of their discovery and the path they should take. The tension reached a boiling point when they were summoned by King Nereus, the ruler of the Aquarians. An imposing figure with a serene face. His presence commanded respect and awe. With a voice as deep as the ocean, he offered them a choice. He explained that the heart of the sea was a relic of his people, its loss symbolizing a tragedy and its return crucial to the survival of their civilization. His offer was simple yet loaded with implications: return the heart and they would be granted safe passage back to their world. Their intrusion would be forgiven, and they would part ways with no ill feelings. However, if they chose to keep the heart, they would be doomed to spend the rest of their lives in the underwater realm. His words left no room for negotiation. It was a choice between leaving without the heart or staying back forever. As they faced this difficult decision, their friendship was put to the test. Alex was a firm believer in doing what was right and fair. He understood the importance of the heart to the Aquarians and advocated for its return. Jake, however, was entranced by the potential wealth and prestige that the chest promised. His desire led him to make a dangerous decision: to unlock the chest using an ancient Aquarian inscription he had secretly deciphered. His obsession made him believe that he could control the power of the heart, using it to return to their world. Jake, a man of action, had always been adept at hiding his true feelings. His fascination with the relic was well concealed under his calm exterior. While Alex had been immersed in conversations with the Aquarians, trying to understand their history and their connection to the heart, Jake had been on a different quest. The unique symbols and inscriptions that adorned the city and the chest had caught his attention. With his background in linguistics and cryptography, he had started to decipher these, in the hope of unlocking the chest. During one of their communal meals, Jake had subtly inquired about the city's history, steering the conversation towards the ancient inscriptions. The Aquarians, appreciative of his apparent interest, had shared stories, unintentionally divulging some key phrases. Jake had meticulously noted these, matching them against the symbols on the chest. His activities, however, didn't go unnoticed. Ceto, an elderly Aquarian, known for her wisdom and observational prowess, had been growing increasingly suspicious of Jake's intense fascination with their language and inscriptions. Her long years had taught her to be wary of surface dwellers and their greed. Late one night, her suspicions were confirmed. She found Jake by the chest, hurriedly scribbling symbols onto a piece of parchment, matching them against the inscriptions on the chest. She watched in silence as Jake seemed to finally decipher the last symbol, his face lighting up with triumph. Realizing the potential danger, Ceto immediately informed King Nereus. Jake's duplicity was revealed before he could execute his plan. His actions led to his arrest, and he was swiftly put on trial. The underwater city watched in silence as their relationship was put on display and their true characters tested. With Jake standing accused, Alex was left in a difficult position. He was torn between his loyalty to his friend and the promise he had made to the Aquarians. With Jake's betrayal out in the open, the chasm between the friends widened. Despite their long-standing camaraderie, Alex found himself questioning Jake's integrity. He stood before the Aquarian Council, torn between his friend and the commitment he had made to the underwater beings. After a painful inner conflict, Alex chose to honor his promise. He condemned Jake's actions, pledging to return the heart to its rightful place. His confession was an admittance of their folly, a plea for mercy, and a testament to their flawed human nature. King Nereus was moved by Alex's honesty and integrity. In return for his candid confession, the king presented him with another choice. He could take the heart of the sea, abandon Jake in the underwater city, and return to their world. Or he could stay in the underwater city with Jake, renouncing the treasure and the opportunity to return to the surface. The choice was his, a testament to his character and a test of his friendship with Jake. This was a difficult decision for Alex. He understood the implications of both options. If he chose to leave with the heart, he would betray Jake, shattering their friendship. But if he decided to stay with Jake, he would have to give up the chance of ever returning home. Alex was faced with an impossible choice, one that would test his integrity, his loyalty, and his sense of right and wrong. In the end, it was their shared history, the countless adventures, the understanding that only years of friendship could foster, that tipped the balance. Alex made the decision to stay, to stand by Jake. He chose friendship over the allure of the heart of the sea. The decision came as a surprise to the Aquarians, who were used to witnessing the greed of surface dwellers. This act of loyalty and selflessness changed their perspective. King Nereus, moved by their friendship, made an unprecedented decision. He allowed both of them to return to their world, without the heart. The whirlpool returned, this time leading them back to their own realm, the chest and its contents left behind. They resurfaced to the familiar smell of the salty sea, the chest and the treasure a mere memory. Their re-emergence from the whirlpool's vortex was a quiet event marked by a sense of relief. The eerie stillness that had accompanied their descent into the mysterious whirlpool gave way to the soothing familiarity of the surface world, the rhythm of the waves, the playful seagulls, and the wind carrying the brine scent of the ocean. The initial silence was broken by Jake, who sought to understand Alex's decision back in the Aquarian kingdom. His voice, carrying a blend of confusion, guilt, and gratitude, filled the air. He wanted to know why Alex chose to abandon the promise of a life of wealth to stay by his side. Alex, in response, conveyed his priorities. He explained that when confronted with a choice between unimaginable riches and their bond, he chose their friendship without hesitation. He acknowledged the allure of the heart of the sea and the life it promised, but stood firm in his belief that no material possession could replace the companionship they shared. The boat gently swayed to the rhythm of the sea as they grappled with Alex's revelation. Jake, usually a man of quick retorts, was uncharacteristically silent, reflecting on the depth of Alex's sacrifice. His apology, when it came, was full of remorse. Jake admitted his short-sightedness, acknowledging that his greed had almost cost them their friendship and put the survival of an entire civilization in jeopardy. Alex's reaction was one of understanding. He offered comfort and wisdom, suggesting that the significance of their actions wasn't limited to the mistakes they had made, but extended to the lessons they learned from them and their intent to do better. As the setting sun painted the sky with shades of crimson and gold, they started their journey back to shore, leaving behind the ocean depths, the underwater city, and the treasure. This journey, unlike their previous ones, was filled with introspective silences and honest conversations as they dissected their decisions, their experiences, and their newfound understanding of themselves and each other. The land, when they finally reached it, seemed different. They weren't just divers anymore, they were keepers of an incredible secret, bearers of an extraordinary experience that had transformed their lives and reframed their perception of friendship, ambition, and sacrifice. The adventure had pushed them beyond their limits, testing their bond and their morality, and in the process, had made them richer in understanding and experience. Their relationship evolved, not solely because of the shared adventure, but because of the choices they made that had reflected their values. They became pillars of support for each other, with their friendship serving as a constant reminder of their incredible journey and the lessons it imparted. The ocean, previously just a site for their adventures or a means to make a living, had now taken on a deeper meaning. It was a link to a mystical world and a testament to their transformative journey, their deepened friendship, and the wisdom they gained. They returned as changed individuals, their perspective on life broadened, their respect for the ocean amplified. Their friendship had undergone a trial by fire, emerging stronger and deeper. The magic, they realized, wasn't in the treasure but in their shared experiences and the journey they embarked on together.